I remember a story about a young boy. His name was Jack or John or Jim. His name isn't important, but as a curious and adventuresome child who loved to explore the forest and the hills around his town, he would travel off into the wilderness for hours following paths that were left by birds or animals or other people who traveled. One day he was wandering through the forest and he came across an old man who was sitting at the side of a trail. The old man was wearing a long cloak and he had a wispy white beard and that reached down to his chest. Jack or John or Jim, whatever his name was, approached the old man and he asked him if he knew the way to a certain place that he had been trying to find for weeks. The old man looked up and he just smiled. I know the way to many places, he said, but it's not the destination that's important. It's the journey. Jack or John or Jim was confused by the old man's words. He had always thought that the destination was the most important thing, that it was where he would find the answers to all his questions. Just because you follow someone's lead does not mean that you become them, the old man continued. You must find your own path, your own way. This is the true meaning of the journey. That young boy did not understand what the old man meant by this, but he felt that there was something important in his words. So he decided to follow the old man, hoping that he would show him the way. The old man led that young boy through the forest, deep into a valley, and up a steep mountain. And along the way, he told stories about animals and plants that they saw, and he taught that young boy how to find his way by the stars at night. And as they walked, Jack or John or Jim began to realize that the old man was right. He was not becoming the old man. He was finding his own path, his own way. He was learning to see the world in a new way and to appreciate the beauty of that journey. And after many days with that old man, that young boy reached the meadow at the top of the mountain, and the old man stopped. And he turned to the young boy. This is the place that you've been looking for, he said. But remember, it's not the destination that's important. It's the journey. Jack or John or Jim looked around at the meadows, and he felt a sense of peace and commitment wash over him. He knew that he had just found something much more valuable than the answers to his questions. He had found his own path. He had found his own way. And from that day on, that young boy continued to wander through the forests and the hills, following the paths and trails that were left by animals and birds and other travelers. But he always remembered the words of the old man, and he knew that he was not becoming anyone else. He was finding his own way. And that's the true meaning of the journey. Remember that just because we follow someone's lead, it does not mean that we become them. Each person's journey is unique, and it's important to find your own path, but not to compare yourself with others. Following the trail that someone leaves, that you can walk the same distance, but your experience and what you gain from it is different. And it's important to remember that destination is not as important as the journey. The journey is where we learn and grow. The true meaning of a journey is self-discovery and growth. So take a moment and reflect on your own journey and think about what you want to gain. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about finding your own way.